Alright, once we have our two markets set up, now we need to know who wants money and which money they want, from who and why. So we go over here to our acronym for foreign exchange. The first one is TASTE, and that's taste or preference, as in you want an item from another country. The next one is the real interest rate. And that's R equals I minus pi. Then we want income. So if people are making money, then they're going to increase their purchasing, which, since we're a global economy, that means they'll purchase items that are made somewhere else. Okay, this is price level. It's also known as inflation. This one is speculation. And that is, do I want to purchase currency now when it's cheap, sit on it, and then sell it back when it's worth more, and make money off it? People play the foreign exchange market the same way they play the stock market. Okay, so now, if somebody wants an item, or they are attracted by high interest rates and they want to put their money in foreign bank accounts to earn higher interest, they're interest seekers or trying to profit from interest. Okay, so now I'm going to take my dollar market and my peso market, and I'm going to set up a new one. Okay, I'm going to leave these at equilibrium so we can have them as our example. So let's set these up again. So it's the supply of the dollar, the demand of the dollar, the quantity of the dollar. Then it's the dollar divided, or the peso divided by the dollar. That's going to give us our exchange rate. That's going to give us our quantity. And over here we have our peso market again. And the peso underneath the dollar. And our exchange rate. Okay. Once we have our two markets established, in this scenario, let's say that people in America develop a taste for items in Mexico. We like our avocados, don't we? We like that guacamole. Alright? Vitamin G. Now, if we have dollars and we want an item from Mexico, we need pesos, don't we? So what we're going to do is we are going to this is increasing the demand for dollars, so I got to switch it. Okay, sorry. Alright, so people who have pesos are going to want something from America. Alright? Now, what they have to do with their pesos is they're going to have to put their pesos back into the market, aren't they? And then they're going to have to demand dollars. So say you go to the bank and you have pesos. You give them the pesos, don't you, when you exchange them? Okay? So I give them the pesos. That's going to shift the supply of pesos to the right. So when I'm adding to the supply, I bring my pesos to the bank, I give them the pesos because of what I want. I want dollars. So when I give them the pesos, I put them back into the supply, which increases the quantity supplied of the peso, and that's going to drop the exchange rate because there's more of them available, aren't there? If there's more of something, it gets cheaper. Now, once I want dollars, my demand went up. So my demand goes up for the dollar. So we go from D to D1. I have my shift. And now, where more demand goes against a set number of dollars in the market, more people want, and there's a certain amount. So that's scarcity. That causes the price to go up. Okay, so now I have my demand shift and my supply shift. Here is a rule about foreign exchange. It will always be supply of one, it will be demand of the other, and they will move in the same direction. Okay? You won't always be asked to draw both of them, but I usually like to just so I can see and make sure that it's supply of one, demand of the other. That will help you to get them right. Okay? I'll say it again. In foreign exchange, it's supply of one, demand of the other, and they move in the same direction. Okay? Now, I've used my acronym of TRIPS to solve who wants what currency, and then I make my graphs. Just think, if someone needs something from another country, they put their money back in the supply when they exchange it, then they demand the other one. All right? So once I've solved these, now I'm going to have some effects that will take place. We have SID and we have WES. So, SID stands for strong So which of these got stronger? Okay. The peso market got weaker. Here's where we see with the exchange rate dropping. Because now there's more supply against a set amount of demand. So that's a surplus. There's more of it. Okay. SID means that the exchange rate went up. So it got stronger. So if my currency gets stronger, I'm going to import more. So if my currency is strong, I import. Because now items in that other country are cheaper, aren't they? In terms of currency. So that's what people do when they speculate. When they get if they buy pesos when they're cheap and they go on vacation to Mexico, now when they get to Mexico, if all of a sudden the value has gone up, they can purchase more, can't they? Even though they still have the same amount in their hand because they got them for fewer dollars. Okay? So if your currency becomes strong, your imports will go up, and that will put you in a trade deficit. Okay? So this is how we figure out. Now, what did this currency do? This is the word they like to use, appreciate and depreciate. So what did it do in value? It appreciated. So I'm going to circle appreciate. Okay? Now, WES is going to stand for weak, like Annalise Coffee. What? Now, so the import's going up. What is the country with weak currency going to do? Their stuff's cheap, isn't it? So they are going to export. Their exports are going to go up. Is that going to put them in trade surplus or deficit? A trade surplus. So this is our net export effect. So that country is going to start making GDP, aren't they? And we're going to not make as much GDP because we're the buyers. So remember whose point of view it is when you're doing these questions. Whose point of view? You'll be asked who is going to import, who's going to export, what's going to happen to the currency. Okay? So we have SID and we have WES. Now is this an appreciate or depreciate? It's depreciate. So now over here I could end up labeling these two. So with the dollar market, is it SID or WES? It's SID. The peso became WES. It got weaker. Okay?